Hello class 11, welcome to your online class, education class. In the last day we have started a new chapter, that is the forms of education, and today is the second day of the class. That day, the last yesterday we have discussed about different forms of education like formal education, informal education and non-formal education, and I have given you a brief idea about different forms of education and why forms of education, the name form of education is kept. Now today I will go to the vivid discussion about all the details about the different sorts of education. Now we will start with the first one, that is informal education. Now informal education, before I start it, I have already introduced to you that what is informal education, but still before going to the characteristics discussing it, I want that I must give you some more details about informal education. Informal education is a system where there is no such form actually in the system of education. Now what is that? See, in the ancient period, there was the life was very simple basically, and the life was confined within the basic necessities. Not like us that we need fun, we need leisure time, we need entertainment. Not like that. The life was means it was only required by the food, shelter, and clothing, the basic requirements, and thus the life was too simple. We all know that they used to have a vagabond life, they used to have a forest life, and they do not have a fixed place to live. Like they used to make their clothes with tree leaves and hay, etc. They used to make a temporary shelter, and their food were just like the foods in fruits and vegetables of the forest, whatever they used to get. But as life continued to becoming complex, as life became complex, they felt of the need. They felt the need of living together. They used to whenever they used to confront some animal, they used to see that yes, if in place of one person, if they are in the gather, there's a chance of saving life. Like that, different times they faced different problems, and thus they started living in a gather form, and thus the society started, group living started, society started. As they started their group life, they felt of eating food, and the thought of agriculture started. Like that, state by state, the through different evolutions, life started changing. Now the thing is, right from that time, there was a tendency of imitation of the elders, how they will pray animals. As I have told you that that time life was very simple, and they used to pray food from jungle, they used to pray animals in jungle, they used to collect fruits and vegetables of the tree, and they used to have their food. So in that way, the younger ones, they have no such guide to teach them that how to live their life, how to continue surviving, how to survive actually. So they started imitating, and that through this imitation, through doing the same just like the parents, they start surviving in their own world. Like that, from very time, the concept of imitation occurred, and still now, whatever the young one or the students are learning by imitating, by seeing, by experiencing, by seeing the elders, maybe grandparents, maybe relatives, maybe from surrounding anywhere of his environment, is called informal education. Over there, no such guides are there, no such teachers are there. The person who is learning may be an old person, maybe a young person. So there's no such restricted formal way of receiving education. Just like in formal, when we will go to the next part, that is the formal system of education, we will see the four factors we have already learned: teacher, student, curriculum and school. The 4 factors are very important. But here in this case, it is not such important. Informal education, any one of the in the surrounding can be a teacher, and anyone can learn from his experience or by imitating. So that is called informal education. Now we will shift to the characteristics of informal education. Number 1, factors of education are not put under rigid control. Just now I have told that, see here, the factors also are not fixed, isn't it? They are not rigid, it is okay, but the factors are also not fixed. That who will learn from whom, what is the source of learning, who will learn, what is his age, nothing is fixed. So the entire system has gone under a very flexible nature. Okay, so it is, the first point is, are not put under rigid control. So who will learn? Maybe you can learn, maybe I can learn, maybe some elder one can learn, maybe an old person, he can also learn. So it occurs in any time of the day, any age, it can happen in any age, and not only in case of younger ones. The imitation, seeing someone and learning something can happen to at any age. Next point, it does not depend on selected person. Just now I have told that informal education does not depend on a particular teacher. Like I am teaching you education. There's other history teachers, pol science teacher, economics teacher, English teacher, Bengali teacher. All the subjects are teaching you separate subjects. But in case of informal system of education, there's no such teacher. Indirectly, maybe through experience, the incident may be one teacher, the happening, the occurrence may be one teacher. So anything can be a teacher. So there is no such selected person for teaching. Next point is the beyond the boundary of school. It is also obvious, excuse me, these sorts of learning can may occur in anywhere. Not only, it is not confined in the boundary of the school, isn't it? The experience, the learning, the imitation which the child is receiving or doing, it can happen anywhere in our entire surrounding, isn't it? It is not confined in the premises of school. Next, it does not need educational environment. It is also truth. See, when we are in school, after entering the school, what do we see when we enter a classroom? We see benches and chairs for sitting, boards, chalk box, dusters, etc. All the features and amenities what are required for teaching, isn't it? And when the teacher will come, it will be a complete one. You are the student and the continuous interaction will go on. But in case of informal education, where is no such teachers, no such students, then who will learn and who will learn and who will teach? There is no such special environment. Like it is happening in a natural circumstance, in a natural surrounding, isn't it? So there is no such ambience which is created. It's very natural. Next is exclusively learner oriented. See, what is the meaning of exclusively learner oriented? Let me first tell you that all these points are in your book. When we will go through the discussion in live classes, I will explain you what part you have to read and what part you can omit. That time you will understand. Exclusively learner oriented means, see, the experience what you are gathering, maybe 5 of the students are gathering the experience in the same way, but what they are realizing, what is the outcome of it and what are they thinking about it, it is individualistic. Maybe your mother is telling you something, or your parent or your teachers is saying something to you, and there are 5 children to listen. Now if I ask the same question to 5 people, 5 will answer in a different way. What is the reason behind it? Because that is the reason behind why individual difference is there. Due to the individual difference, your way of illustration, your way of thinking, your way of evaluation is different. That is why whatever experience may be occurring, that is the evaluation will be 100% learner oriented. Am I clear? Last point. The board is very small, so it's in a very small form I have written, but I think you can read it. earn experiences in natural settings. It is also truth. See, natural settings means we do not create any, like in school. The school ambience, the school atmosphere, the school environment, it is created by us, isn't it? We all are, when we used to do classes, we used to do it seriously. Teacher, though the relation is very friendly, but still the ambience is required, isn't it? You cannot sit on the floor, or even I cannot sit on the floor, isn't it? And I cannot say you anything. You also cannot behave it as you wish. So the entire environment is created. It is not natural. But in case of informal education, where someone is seeing someone else and imitating and learning something, the environment is natural, because it has happened suddenly, and the occurrence is also very sudden. Okay, so the earned experience by the student, by the learner, I should not say student, but the learner who is learning, is in a natural setting. It's a very natural thing what is happening, how my mother is talking, how my father is talking, how I am interacting with my principal ma'am, how you are interacting with your teachers, the juniors will see and they will learn from you that yes, dada and didi, they are behaving like that, so we also must behave in the same way. We should not talk roughly, we should not say like that. So whatever is happening, I am just giving a vague example because this is just a part of our interaction, but it can happen anywhere. How the parents are talking with their grandparents, that is also a way of learning. So whatever they are seeing, whatever how they are seeing, is a part of learning. So the ambience of the situation is in a natural setting, is a very natural, it's not created or artificial. So this is all about today's discussion. Next day we will start with different limitations of informal education, and before that we will start family, how family is helpful becoming a institute of informal education. Thank you very much.